Garden markers always start out so hopeful, but by the end of the season, they're usually faded or they're just plain ugly. And this video, I am going to try 4 different garden markers, and I'm hoping that this season I have finally ended my search for the perfect garden marker. So the first garden marker I'm going to make is for the vegetable garden. And I love the look of the, sort of French farmers market with the black chalkboard sign or the slate signs. And I want to recreate that look in my garden this year. And so what I plan to do is create these. So it is this one. While I am going to get garden stakes, I do have them ordered. They're not in stock. They haven't arrived yet. And I thought this was a good chance to show this other way that you can create the same kind of look with upcycling something you already may have, or you can get for free at the paint store. So these are paint stir sticks, and I've just painted them with chalkboard paint. And I'll show you what I'm doing with that. So to create these, we're going to take the garden stake or the paint stir stick and paint. Where is my paintbrush? Oh, here it is. Paint all sides. Now you don't have to paint all the way down. You can just paint halfway down. You can paint 3/4 of the way down. I'm going to paint till about the point that I would put it into the ground. I don't want the paint going into the soil, but I want it to look mostly black when you look at it. And with the garden stakes, I'm going to sand them down first before I paint them, so I have a nice smooth surface when I write on it. But for the stir sticks, they're already very smooth, so I'm not going to bother to do that. And I'm just going to make sure I get the sides so everything looks uniform black. You can get chalkboard paint in different colors, but to me the whole point of doing this is so that it looks like a chalkboard. Okay, good. Let's set that aside. Using one of these, they're called liquid chalk markers, like this, I am going to write the variety, and you have to prime the marker first so the ink comes out. And I'm going to write a variety that I know I will be growing this year because I grow it every year, which is sun gold tomatoes, which are delicious. So I just put what it is and the variety. I think this is going to look really cute in my vegetable garden. So for the things in my vegetable garden that I don't want to have a big sign. Now you could do this for small markers, but my thought with this is that you would be able to easily see the marker and that it would look kind of charming. So what I'm going to do for the ones that I don't want a big marker, but I still want it to look cute, is I am going to use sticks, just regular old, out of your garden, probably have a million sticks. And what I did is I just shaved off the top layer of the bark to create a smooth surface on the top. And I experimented and it does work. I wrote the variety on it, and then I use this again, and you just peel it just straight down like that. I used it again and it came right off. So you actually could reuse the stick by just peeling the top layer off, and you'll have a fresh piece of bark. And then just with a garden marker, here it is, I am going to write the same, I'll just do the same thing. And I like these actual garden markers I know some people swear just by a Sharpie, but I really do think that these work better in my experience. Okay, so there I have a simple, eco-friendly, and very attractive, I think, garden marker. Next is I need to do something with my perennials. So I was out in the garden the other day and I noticed that on my hydrangea, I still have the tag attached, like with the string around, you know, a branch of the hydrangea, which is sort of cardinal sin of gardening, because as that grows, the string wrapped around the branch is going to restrict the growth and grow right into it. So I thought, you know, I really got to mark these, because I know if I take this tag off, I'm going to forget what it was, and then I'm going to want to know and I won't know. So I decided to come up with this idea, which I bought these black metal markers. I like the black more than white or silver. I just feel like it looks more classic, hides into the landscape a little bit more. And then using my, I just have one of these Brother label makers. I actually got this just recently, and I used it in my seed organization video. So you're just going to print out what the variety is, and then you're just going to stick it onto the marker and put the marker through the holes, and then I will have these for a more permanent solution. I will report back if these, how long these stayed, but they do make for the label maker labels that are supposed to be all weather, the label tape. But from other people reporting, they said that they didn't need the all weather tape, that the other one worked just fine. So I will see if it looks like it's starting to wear off, then I will replace it with the all weather. The next one that I have up is, so I saw this online and I thought this is a really good option for my seedlings. I have always bought those little white markers that you can get, you know, you buy a box of 100 or 200, and it's great, but you know, you're just buying more plastic. This idea upcycles something. So, I mean, if you can get people to give them to you for free, then it costs you nothing or very little, as people are usually just throwing them away or getting rid of them, is just using vinyl blinds. And you just cut them off the string. And what I like about this is I cut them where the hole is. So I have two small pieces. And then I cut the large piece just in half. So then I have two large and two small. And I can always cut these in half again if I need more of the small ones, but I think this is a nice option to have the taller ones. And then you just cut the points so that they stick in easily. And what I like about these better than the other plastic ones that are about the same size as this, they're a little smaller, is that the vinyl blind has a bit more of a matte surface. The other ones are, they just, the ink when you write on it, you have to let them sit for a minute, otherwise they smudge off. These I find right away, as soon as you write them out, it's set. And I also find that I write on the inside of the curve. That's the only downside, I would say, slight downside, is they're not completely flat. They have a curve to them, but I think it's easier to write on the inside of the curve. So, and using the garden marker, I find it dries instantly. And then that will be ready to use in all of my seedlings. So these are the options that I am using this season, and I'm hoping that all of them work beautifully and I finally have affordable, reusable, eco-friendly garden markers to use in my garden. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.